A warm welcome to St. Theresa's International College's Virtual Expo, Seminar on Digital Technology for Education. I am Mieder, and today I will be discussing the basic concepts of ICT in education. A little bit about my academic and professional background. I completed my bachelor's degree in information technology in South Africa in early 2000. For those familiar to the IT field, will know that a degree holds little value and getting certified is a must for anyone working in IT, hence me having a long list of certifications. I am also a Microsoft certified professional and trainer with an MCP, MCT and MCSD qualification. I also obtained certifications in graphic designing, web development and programming. I was involved in numerous IT projects throughout the years. But my main focus or application of IT has always been in education. Even though I'm not actively doing projects in information technology right now, it has played a major role in my teaching career over the last 20 years. With my experience in IT, I hope that I can convey the importance of ICT in education and hopefully inspire some of you here today to make the transition on becoming true 21st century educators. I think most people in general have some basic understanding of what ICT is, but just in case, let us quickly look at what ICT is and how it is connected to education, the advantages and disadvantages, why it is important to educators, and how we can integrate it into our teaching. ICT stands for Information and Communication Technology and is used to support, enhance, and optimize the delivery of information. It can include activities like gathering, processing, storing, and presenting data. Increasingly, these activities also involve collaboration and communication. This is where IT has become ICT, Information and Communication Technology. So obviously the emphasis is now on communication. Worldwide research has shown that ICT can lead to improved learning and better teaching methods. A report made by the National Institute of Multimedia Education in Japan proved that an increase in the use of ICT in education with integrating technology to the curriculum has a significant and positive impact on students' achievements. The result specifically showed that the students who are continuously exposed to technology through education has better knowledge, presentation skills, innovative capabilities, and are ready to take more efforts into learning as compared to their counterparts. Another way to see or classify ICT in education is to see it as digital technology to assist students, teachers, and the school to retrieve, manipulate, transmit, or receive information electronically in a digital form using various types of communication platforms like Microsoft, Google, Facebook, WhatsApp, Line application, just to mention a few. And the device used can be anything from personal computers, notebooks, tablets, mobile devices, or even smartwatches. ICT has become within a very short time period one of the basic building blocks of modern society. Many countries now regard the understanding of ICT and mastering the basic skills and concepts of it as part of the core of education, alongside reading, writing, and numeracy. UNESCO published books for primary and secondary schools on the fundamental importance of ICT as a practical means of helping all countries, both developed and developing, to prepare young people to be active contributors to modern society. These books have two key purposes. First, to specify a curriculum in ICT for secondary schools that is in line with current international trends, and second, to outline a program of professional development for teachers necessary to implement the specified ICT curriculum successfully. Seeing that if a big organization like UNESCO promotes the implementation of ICT in education, we can understand the importance of ICT. So how is ICT connected to education? Well, that is simple. Just by looking at what type of devices or technology we use, we can clearly see how it is connected to education. Over the years, most of our lesson preparations have been done on some electronic device or presenting on a projector or playing a video or music in class. Since the COVID-19 pandemic, almost every single teacher across the globe had to either teach a live or recorded lesson, or make use of some electronic device and online platform, something that would have never been possible without technology. The modern classroom has taken several steps forward in its evolution of the learning environment. Many of the benefits that we have seen in education are due to the introduction of new technology options for students. Like in the past, instead of having a single computer for a class to use or a laboratory environment for the entire school placed in the infamous ICT lab, we can now help students learn at their desk through either e-learning or mobile learning, also known as m-learning. For those that grew up before the iPhone era, I'm talking about the 80s and early 90s kids, you will remember the teacher pushing out the AV cart to watch some grainy educational video. That was what the early stages of a 21st century class looked like. Now it is interactive learning games with educational statistics tracked in real time in the palm of their hands. But with all of these perks of living in the 21st century, there are obviously some drawbacks that will either leave the teacher or student at a disadvantage. Let us take a closer look at the advantages and disadvantages of ICT in education. Today, ICT has progressed to become an integral part of the education system, and many countries are intensely utilizing the ICT curriculum and development to resolve the communication and technological differences. Looking at the advantages, I think for all teachers, better engagement is definitely a plus. This is especially important when it comes to repetitive content. As teachers, we know for better retention, it is necessary to repeat or review a topic, something that is challenging since most students lose interest in something they have done already. With technology, new and improved learning techniques can transform any lesson, whether reviewing or studying boring topics, into a fun, interactive lesson. So, with better learning techniques, students are more engaged, which in turn helps them to stay more motivated during the learning process. With technology, students can become autonomous learners and study at their own pace by accessing free online courses like MOOCs, massive open online courses. Some of the well-known MOOCs are edX, Coursera, Khan Academy, Udemy, Udacity, LinkedIn Learning, Duolingo, Treehouse, Lynda, Pluralsight Skills, CBT Nuggets, HubSpot Academy, and the Open University. Many MOOCs provide interactive courses with user forums or social media discussions to support community interactions among students, professors, and teaching assistants, as well as immediate feedback to quick quizzes and assignments. MOOCs are a widely researched development in distance education. What makes distance education so effective is that students have 24-hour access to content, lessons, and with some platforms, even real-time feedback. Besides students having access to online learning courses, through learning management systems, teachers can do administration, documentation, tracking, reporting, automation, and delivery of educational courses, training programs, or learning and development programs through a single platform, and allow students to easily access any form of data from a single location. The integration of technology into vocational instruction can provide students with vocational skills and potential access to the world of work outside of the school, and allow teachers to design useful learning environments that emphasize learning in the context of real-world activities for vocational students. Since technical and vocational education focuses on the preparation of learners for employment, providing them with knowledge, skills, and attitudes desirable for the workforce, it would be logical to state that vocational education must include ICT. Seeing all the multiple benefits of ICT in education, we can clearly see that communication between students, teachers, and parents have greatly increased. Technology does not only encourage teamwork among students, but teachers can monitor and assess students' progress and take preemptive action when and if needed, and so increase the efficiency of the learning process. Both the parents and school can actively monitor their children and openly communicate with the teachers, which in turn can prevent or manage disciplinary issues. So, to recap, ICT in education can help students to compete in the global economy by being part of a skilled workforce and facilitate social mobility by enhancing learning experiences and providing new sets of skills, reaching more students with massive open online courses, facilitating the training of faculties, minimizing costs and saving time associated with information delivery and automating regular day-to-day tasks, improving the administration of institutions to enhance the quality and efficiency of service delivery. But just like any other technology, ICT too comes with certain limitations. While most of the educational specialists empathize on putting aside the few disadvantages, few still argue otherwise and reiterate the drawbacks of using technology in education. Even myself, when I think of the disadvantages of ICT, the first thing that comes to mind is definitely two major issues: games and social media. We have all encountered at some point in the classroom having to deal with a student totally engrossed with their phone and having to repeat an instruction or sometimes the entire lesson, just because of how distracting a phone can be. We can all argue all day on implementing mobile devices into our lessons to discourage excessive use, but we all know that the temptation is far too great, and we as teachers need to enforce healthy boundaries. Besides being a distraction, technology offers easy access to information, which means it is far easier for students to cheat or plagiarize information. Yes, we can all say it is about being moral and teaching students to make the right decision. But prevention is far better than cure, meaning taking the necessary precautions will reduce students from cheating. While on the subject of plagiarism and copying information, it is difficult for people in general, not only students, to distinguish what information is real, and the risk of disinformation can have serious consequences for students. The information given to students must be checked and monitored by teachers to ensure the validity of the content and whether or not it is appropriate for our students. Even though ICT encourages communication, in some cases it can impede and promote antisocial behavior. Social interaction is important because it enables students to enhance their communication skills. For effective learning to take place, there is a need for proper communication. Both verbal and non-verbal communication enables the students to interact with each other. Excessive use of social media can make students feel disconnected. With anonymity, students can't see the social impact they have and so tend to speak without reservation, which is typical of antisocial behavior. Even though technology has become more affordable, not all students can afford it. So, with full integration of technology in the classroom, it can actually emphasize the socioeconomic status of students and cause great embarrassment, and place those at the lowest end of the wage scale at a significant disadvantage. Students with greater access can learn more and have access to lessons more often, which means they have additional information exposure that can increase their opportunities to succeed. Last, but also the most dreaded, is that teachers must invest far more time in lesson preparations and training. This even more so for those with little to no experience with technology. This is by far the biggest disadvantage for teachers, seeing that we have so much on our plate already. Now we are expected to teach and use highly technical platforms with little to no formal training. This is where I need to emphasize the importance and the benefits of ICT in education. So why is ICT so important? Well, basically it is a central tool that supports teaching and learning at all stages of education and across all areas of the curriculum. We live in a world where all aspects of life are connected to technology and provide extraordinary opportunities for young students who are just setting out on their educational journey. And as such, ICT does not only play a vital part to the overall operation of the school, but it can also help to improve achievement levels, inspire creative thinking, and encourage the development of skills that will prove invaluable in the real world. Be it independently or as part of a group, ICT allows students to explore, observe, engage, solve problems, and make exciting discoveries for themselves. It stimulates collaboration and interaction amongst peers and also between students and teachers. ICT resources not only provide the tools for promoting and developing these skills, but also encourages them to engage confidently in imaginative learning and makes teaching and learning more effective and fun for everyone involved. In a nutshell, ICT is important because it improves the learning experience by raising the standard across the curriculum to improve the delivery of lesson content and allow students to engage in class in a variety of ways. It also extends the learning experience beyond the four walls of the classroom for an anytime, anywhere approach, meaning students and teachers can continue to work and access resources even from home or collaborate with anyone anywhere in the world. The biggest selling points would be how ICT streamlines the assessment process. Students' data can be recorded and analyzed more efficiently for accurate assessment of the learning abilities and allow teachers to see which areas of learning need a higher level of support, in turn making the learning process more effective. It can also promote higher order thinking skills for the 21st century. This can include skills like evaluating, planning, monitoring, and reflecting, to name a few. The effective use of ICT in education demands skills such as explaining and justifying the use of ICT in producing solutions to problems. Students need to discuss, test, and speculate the various strategies that they will use. As I have mentioned previously, with the advantages, we can all agree that motivation for learning is important. Technology offers a myriad of interesting learning methods, which can encourage, motivate, and improve engagement. As a consequence of this increased engagement, students will be able to retain knowledge more effectively and efficiently. Now that we understand the importance of ICT in education, how can we integrate it into our teaching? Well, rather than asking the best way to integrate ICT, ask yourself, what do I want to offer to my classes that current methods do not offer? This should list the new outcomes you want to achieve. Once you know the goal, you can construct a framework of what you need to reach those goals. Let's take a closer look at the type of ICT learning methods to see what would best suit those goals. First, there is e-learning. It can also be labeled as online learning or web-based learning, which refers to learning using an internet browser. This means that almost any electronic device with internet connection can be used for e-learning. So, M or mobile learning is basically an extension of e-learning, where the only difference is the device used. With virtually every type of technology being online, we need to look at the type of platform to understand the difference in ICT technology. These platforms can range from teleconferencing, interactive multimedia, and web-based training. So you have to teach an online class. For most schools, they will have probably chosen a platform for you. Most schools will opt for the free platforms like Google Meet or Facebook Live. Even though they have limited functions, it will still get the job done. For platforms with a price tag, most schools will go for Microsoft Teams, Zoom, Cisco, WebEx meetings, BlueJeans meetings, and GoToMeeting, just to mention a few. But if you require a platform that offers a video and audio conferencing, chat and webinars across mobile, desktop, and room systems, virtual classroom, meeting room booking, scheduling, attendee management, call recording, desktop, or browsing sharing, then Google Meet or Microsoft Teams would be the best option. Regardless of the function or price, these platforms provide some form of two-way interaction between teacher and students. As all of us have some experience with Google Meet and Microsoft Teams. Another platform is interactive multimedia. In the early stages, we mostly had computer-based training, or CBTs, which were mostly installed on a device and could be used offline. As more people are connected, CBTs have made a transition to be mostly online now. Interactive multimedia is what the name states, interactive, which allows the user to control the interaction to varying degrees depending on the nature of the program, and also give the ability to present information in multiple modalities. Here are two types of education interactive platforms.
Jack.
He's fine, thanks. He's living in London at the moment.
Many businesses aren't doing very well. My own business isn't growing fast enough. Speaking to Sally. Say hello from me if you are. Is Dr. Moore teaching here this term, or is she in America? Lately, my back's been hurting whenever I lift anything.
You'd better take it easy for a few days.
What does the woman suggest?
Lately, my back's been hurting whenever I lift anything.
You'd better take it easy for a few days.
What does the woman suggest?
ให้เลือกภาษาที่จะใช้ภายในโปรแกรมนี้
Please select the language in the program. All the pronunciations will be in the selected language. Please select your dictionary. Example, Thai English, English Thai, Chinese Japanese. You can look at an example from the example box on your left-hand side. Please choose a vocabulary group by pressing the left or right arrow button. The picture in the middle indicates the chosen vocabulary group. Click on each object to see the vocabulary.
ถังขยะ
Bin,
หม้อ
pot,
เครื่องปั่น
blender,
Now, web-based training, or WBT, has gained a lot of popularity over the last few years. WBT uses web-based technologies for the purpose of training. It can be used to deliver complex training from academic to vocational training. MOOCs will be a typical platform of web-based training, and even a platform like YouTube can offer the same services. Let us take a look at some of these.
Now time for some exercises. Exercise 1.
answer the questions. Here we have 3 pictures: a lamp, a table, and a sofa. And there's one question. Was ist das? Was ist das? Was ist das? Was ist das? You're supposed to answer these questions. So you can now pause the video and deliver your answer. And when you're ready, you can go on with the video. So, here is the solution. Was ist das? Das ist eine Lampe. Was ist das? Das ist ein Tisch.
For myself, being in the IT field for years, transitioning to ICT was easy and painless, but many teachers are facing major challenges due to the rapid expansion of knowledge. The modern technologies are demanding that teachers learn how to use these technologies in their teaching. Hence, these new technologies increase the teacher's training needs. But the issue is not in training, but more teachers' attitudes toward computers in the implementation of ICT in education. Teachers do not always have positive attitudes towards computers, and their poor attitudes may lead to a failure of the computer-based projects. Some other barriers teachers face can be the lack of time, access, resources, expertise, or even support. In some circumstances, reliability of technology, hardware, or internet connection can also hinder teachers from implementing ICT into their teaching. Even with these obstacles, teachers need to be more open-minded and see that the advantages far outweigh the disadvantages of ICT. Educators should understand the importance of self-development, and in order for us to provide quality teaching and making the learning process more effective for our students, we need to actively engage in developing our ICT skills. Let me take this opportunity to showcase a short clip of 2 of my lessons where I implemented ICT. Both lessons were for grade 10 and the subject was for English. The recordings were made earlier this year. You know how it works, but all you need to do is you need to comment your name in Teams. So just not your name, your number, sorry. So for example, if your number is 1, you don't need to comment your name and just the word. So the first one that's got it correct will get 1 point. คนที่ถูกก่อนได้ 1 คะแนน. Okay, that's all you need to do, like that. Very, very easy. Okay, every letter is a code. All right, so that will help you understand how to do it. All right, so let's quickly see. Type your number and the answer. The first one gets a point. You need to understand this table here. So if you don't understand it, that is an A. That shape is a B. So A will look like that. B will look like that. And C will look like that. So if it has like that with a dot, that will be an O. If it has a shape like that with a dot, that will be a W. Okay, easy. All right, so let's see how it goes. Okay, let's see who can get this first. Please comment your number and the word. I'll give you 5 more seconds. Okay, let's see how many of you got it. All right, so let's see. Okay, many of you. So number 22, that is Anand. That is 1 point for you. Okay, see how easy that was. All right, very, very easy. Okay, that's it. That's all I want from you. All right, so there are 20 in total, so it takes about 10 minutes. And this way, it will help you for the next activity, because the next activity, you might not know how to use the words. Okay, so let's continue. All right, here's the word. Check off. Okay, very good. Let's go to the next one. So now I have this, but as I said, for the numbers, the amounts, Excel doesn't work well with words and numbers mixed, so I need to take it out. So what I do is I just double click to highlight the word. I copy it by pressing Ctrl C, And then I highlight by click and drag all the numbers to the bottom. And then I go to replace over here. I say replace, it automatically will pop in there. I replace with nothing. And I just say replace all. Replace just means one, replace all, everything that I highlighted. I'm going to say replace all. Okay, and it says, okay, it replaced everything. Do I want more? No, I don't want. I just want the highlighted and I'm done. And I close it. Now everything is ready. Okay, so basically my table is ready to be used in Excel. Okay, that's all I need. Now it also depends on what type of chart or graph I'm using, but for this I'm going to use a column or bar chart. Now this specific one is a column one. So now I'm going to go to PowerPoint. Okay, now what you need to do, this is what you need to make. Okay, but we're going to do it step by step. So now I have my table. So I'm going to go there. Now I'm not going to do any importing. I'm going to make it so you can make it from scratch. So it's very, very simple. So I just on a blank slide in PowerPoint, I just say insert, chart, and it will give me many options. And I'm just going to say column. All right. We can do bar as well, but just for now, we're going to do column. And there are many types. We just choose the first type to have a standard one there, so it's not layered. Okay, so I'm just taking the first one and I click OK. Now automatically it will open up Excel for me. There it is. There's my Excel file. Now you'll see that, oh, okay, I just want one fruit for each series. So what do? I simply, in the top, I click and drag C and D, and I can right click and delete it. That's it. And you'll see that now I just have one series. Okay, did everyone follow that?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so it's very, very easy. Now, you need to set it in advance with Excel so that you don't have problems later on. So you see these blue lines that it blocks everything. Now that's how much we're going to use. So what we're going to do is we have 20 in total. So the blue line over here, the far right corner, we click and we drag it right down to 20 because we have 20 in total. And we drop it there. So now we have an option of 20. Now, if you follow these steps, it will make it super easy for you to do it. All right, now my Excel is ready to put in the information. Now I have to go between Excel and Word. Okay, so now it's ready. Now I go to Word. I go to my table over here, and I'm simply going to click once, click and hold, drag down to 20 words, and Control C or right click and copy. Control C to copy. I go back to my PowerPoint, and in the category 1, I just click once and I press Control V. That's it. So there is all the words that I have.